Another week, another step closer to the end. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to Adventure Time, Season 10, Episodes 5 through 7. And yeah, it's like I said in the cold open, we're another week closer to finishing the main series of Adventure Time. And it's still pretty surreal to think about. Because I talked about it last time, but I've been reacting to this series for years and years. I think like almost a decade, if not so. Because of when I started it back on the old channel. But even despite that, it's like with all the like breaks we've taken with having to start an entirely new channel in between and just everything else, it's been pretty crazy. It's been one hell of a wild time going through this series. And now we're finally closing it out. And the episodes have gotten very important, have gotten very big. And while there might be some goofiness still every once in a while, it's focused a lot more than it used to be. It's not really doing a lot of random little plot lines. It's kind of sticking with the main stuff for the most part. And that's good because we get to find out about Bubblegum in the past making what basically amounts to as clones of herself as an attempted family, all of them turning out to be evil, mostly Uncle Gumbald, and them plotting to turn her into a docile candy person and take over. She ends up, finding this out, and while Gumbald takes out the other two himself, she manages to take out Gumbald. And we find out that they've been characters we've seen this entire series. Like Aunt Lolly is Manfred the Pinata, and it's just like, okay. Gumbald himself is the Punch Bowl. And Cousin Chicle is Crunchy. It's just like all these characters who we've seen so often. Crunchy has even had some notable screen time. I would say the most notable of all three of them. They've always been these characters, and yeah, it's pretty clear this probably wasn't always in the making. Like, this is one of those things that was just decided on at some point, maybe a couple seasons ago or whatnot. It was kind of just thought about, but the fact that it feels this natural is impressive. It doesn't feel like it was a thought that came out of nowhere. It feels like it was always in the works. And you can definitely see signs of that. But either way, we see that that things are progressing, and Bonnie knows that at least Uncle Gumbald is back. And he is definitely plotting to overthrow her, take over, because he's always had these grand ideas. It's always kind of been his big thing to plan for, being a big thing. And so now we gotta just hope that they can easily be taken care of. And then there's other plot lines that we still have to wrap up as well. So it's like, we've still got plenty to go. I assume, though, that Gumbald is going to be at least one of the main antagonists this season. I don't know, who else we might get, but he's at least going to be one of them. Um, I'm very curious to see how this continues to go, though. So let's get into it and find out. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, an interesting set of episodes here. 2 of them were notably relevant. The one in the middle, though, maybe not so much. I guess pretty fun, though. But let's talk about them. So first we had 17. And it's always kind of been tricky keeping up with Finn's age, because we do know that time does, like, pass throughout this series. But for the most part, it doesn't, like, directly say too much. I think there's a few occasions where Finn might mention his age or someone might mention it around him. I believe he started as 14, so the events of, like, these 10 seasons have taken place over, like, 3 years or so. Which is pretty interesting. But we see here it's his 17th birthday. And while celebrating with everyone he can, the place ends up getting invaded by the Green Knight. The Green Knight is so blatantly obviously Fern, but Finn just doesn't realize at first. The Green Knight challenges him to these games, and Finn kind of retorts with, like, okay, well, let's do this best of 3 thing. If you beat me, like, you can chop my head off or whatever. If I beat you, then you have to give me the axe. And so they play the games, and it ends up being 1-1 at first, due to Fern just kind of blatantly cheating. But in the end, it's revealed that the Green Knight's horse is actually just, a robot being controlled by Gumball, Lolly, and Cheekley. And obviously the Green Knight is Fern. And instead of doing anything at the moment, they end up getting scared away by Marceline. Gumball admits that she is scary. They can't do anything right now, so they flee. And that's going to come back into play. We'll talk more about that. This episode was really enjoyable for what it was. It was a very important episode. It was pretty intense, but it continued the story, and we did get the full, like, in-episode confirmation that when LSP reverted the Candy Kingdom and everything using her anti-elemental powers, that is what reverted Gumball, Cheekley, and Lolly. Which, again, I was already mostly confident of. But at the same time, please don't tell me if I'm right or wrong in the comments. If I make a theory or a guess at something, don't confirm or deny. I asked that last time too. I specifically said don't confirm or deny it, and yet you confirmed it in the comments. And again, I was, like, very, very sure of it, but still, it's like, please don't do that. I do consider that spoilers, and if I'm making a guess or something, I don't want it to be confirmed or denied for me. I'm doing it mostly as a way of processing my thoughts. And, like, I don't actually want an answer. It's the same thing as when I ask a lot of questions during, like, afterthoughts or during the reaction itself. I don't actually want an answer. I'm just processing my thoughts. So just for future reference with this show or any other, please do not do that. Just just don't do that. Um our second episode though here is the less important one, and that's Ring of Fire. This episode centers around Tree Trunks reuniting with one of her exes. He's come back to get his ring, and she kind of goes through her entire life story, post high school, her entire adult life story. We get to find out how her life has been a lot more adventurous than we realized, and she's had more exes than we've realized. I think the only one we knew about was Wyatt, right? Of course, I might be entirely mistaken. I can't remember everything with this show. But it's like we go through this episode and we see that after graduating high school, she was going to break up with her high school sweetheart, but he proposed to her and she's just like, yeah, okay. But then, like, before the honeymoon can even happen, she ends up breaking up with him anyway and just, like, swimming off into the sunset. She ends up becoming a sexy pirate, and ends up meeting this guy named Danny, but finds out soon, even though she ends up marrying him, like, on the spot, finds out he's a liar who had tricked her into abandoning her ship and her post. So she maroons him on the island and blows up her former crew. Just destroys them, just kills them, presumably. All right. Including her first mate, who I guess was the one who was planning this all in the first place against her. But then she eventually became a shipping conglomerate president somehow, and ended up like marrying Wyatt because he was her secretary. But she felt that he was, she almost felt like he was using her and everything because he was obviously a lot. It's Wyatt. We know him at this point. And she felt like suffocated by his constant need for attention and validation and everything. Which that one's actually like really like valid. And so she ended up like breaking it off with him as well, except he did not take it well and ran away with the ring. Which is the ring that this other guy wants back, Randy. And so in the current day, we see that Mr. Pig has followed her here because he was worried about her. And we see that Wyatt's there as well. And Wyatt just, Wyatt's it up. And so Randy gets his ring back. And then Danny comes in at the end, like, what the hell? Where'd you come from? But Mr. Pig and Tree Trunks apologize to each other. Tree Trunks for making Mr. Pig worry and Mr. Pig for not trusting her. And everything works out because, like, she's very happy and secure in her relationship. While she was very flighty and tended to, like, kind of act on a whim when she was young, she has made, like, a very happy, secure life for herself and is in a good place. A very happy place that she's not going to just willy-nilly leave behind. And that's great. Obviously this is showcasing like the idea of someone who, is like that in their younger life, but settles down and finds like true happiness in the end in a way that they might not have expected. It's a cute story, and it's a cool way to more than likely end off Tree Trunks' role in the series. Like, she might appear one or two times more, but this is like her last big hurrah for sure. And it might even be one of her last big hurrahs in total, because I don't know if she's gonna be in like Distant Lands or Fiona and Cake or whatnot, but the actress actually passed away. So this is like this could be her last really big hurrah here. And if that's the case, it's like, it was a really fun episode to end off on, at least. Like, it was very entertaining, very wild. Did not expect that she was a sexy pirate when she was young. But it was good. I had fun with it, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then we have our last episode of the day. We have episode 7, and that is Marcy and Hudson. Or is it Marceline and Hudson? Hold on, I have the list up here. Marcy and Hudson. It was Marcy, okay. I refer to her as Marcy a lot, so I wasn't sure if that was just me or if that was the name of the episode. So, Peppermint Butler forges Finn a new sword, which is good because he needs a new, like, more permanent sword at this point. And after forging the sword, he summons Hudson, Marcy's father, to bless the sword with Nightosphere magic, which he very willingly does. He, like, no issues there. He's like, yeah, okay. So Finn has a cool, badass new sword. That's fun. But before Hudson goes back, he wants to see his daughter. It's been a while. He wants to spend some time with Marcy. And kind of reluctantly, they agree. Peppermint Butler binds him because, you know, it's Hudson and he'd probably be up to no good otherwise, sealing away his powers. So Finn and Jake escort him to Marcy's, and after a little bit of conversation, he does find out that Marcy has a show that night and goes to it. We get a little song from Marcy, which is really nice. So, like I said in the reaction, always great to hear Olivia sing. She's so good at it. And we see that Hudson ends up, like, you know, being Hudson and causing some trouble. But when the ghosts start to act up because of it and because of Chicle's provocation, because he's there, by the way, due to the fact that they were scared of Marceline, we see that Chicle is proactively trying to do something about that, utilizing Hudson's appearance to try and, like, weaken her or take her down or something. But Hudson actually does, you know, stand up for her and, like, does help, even without his powers at first. And, well, actually without his powers, period, because Pep Bud is knocked out by Chicle before he can unbind him. It's Finn who actually has to come in with the sword using the Nightosphere powers that it's been imbued with. But it all works out, and Marcy actually does appreciate it. Like, it seems like Marcy and Hudson may be, like, starting to mend their relationship a bit, which is good. Because we know Hudson has a lot of issues. He's not been the best father, and he's not been exactly the best person. But he actually did try here, and Marcy did appreciate it, and so there's a little something working out. But after the events of everything, they meet with Bonnie at a diner, and she's, like, apologizing for everything. Hudson apparently got Marcy a shirt of herself, which Marcy wearing a shirt of her own face is a little weird. But she seems to appreciate it. It's like it's a little big on her, so it kind of hangs off her shoulders in a cute way. It's fun. It's fun. It was a good episode featuring Marcy and her father and seeing how their relationship is starting to mend a little bit. But also we get Chicle actively trying to sabotage Marcy, because we know from a couple episodes back, episode 5, that Gumball and Lolly and Chicle are afraid of Marcy, like, genuinely. Because Marcy is powerful and she is scary. So they were trying to actively do something about her, but clearly failed. And yeah, it's like shit's just going down. Everything's really hammering in this finale aspect. But it's still just setting up for what's to come. I like that we're getting a lot more of it. I like that we're getting confirmations on certain things. And I like the character developments we're getting to see in these episodes as well. It feels like it's kind of like really giving us a bit of everything at the end here. We get the silly episodes with the tree trunk stuff here, Ring of Fire. We get the more serious episodes like 17, and then Marcy and Hudson's kind of a mix of both. It has like a lot of the serious nature of the ongoing narrative with a little bit of the silliness of Marcy and Hudson's relationship. And it's really it's a fun set. I really like that we got kind of like all sides to this series in this episode, or in this set of episodes. It really worked out well there. I'm happy that I chose to do 3 today because I was actually originally only planning on doing 2. But I decided to do 3. I felt like, okay, I have the time to add in another. So I'll add in episode 7 as well. And we should be able to make that work, no problem. And we did. It was no problem at all. But yeah, I like this set of episodes. It's like seasons 9 and 10 have just been like really popping off. They've just been really consistently great. Even the side stuff is like on a really high level. So yeah, I'm excited to see where this continues to go this season. We only have like what 3 weeks left, I think, is what it's going to amount to. If I look at my schedule here, yeah, we have 3 weeks left of Adventure Time of the main series, at least. We will take a break before we end up doing Distant Lands, and since Distant Lands is pretty short, we might kind of build that into going into Fiona and Cake. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the future. We'll tackle that when we get to that. But for now, tell me in the comments below what you thought of these 3 episodes. Did you enjoy them as much as I did? And thank you, as always, so much for tuning in. For now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.